Okay, let's take a look at one more new grammar point that I want to go over today. So, 私は本を読みます。眠くなります。本を読むと眠くなります。飛行機に乗ります。耳が痛くなります。飛行機に乗ると耳が痛くなります。春になります。花が咲きます。春になると花が咲きます。So we have 本を読むと、飛行機に乗ると、春になると、This と is one of the new grammar points that we will talk about today. So this と has a meaning kind of similar to the word whenever in English. So we have sentence 1, と, sentence 2. Using the short form. We really only use this with the present tense. So we have a present tense short form. So for a verb, that's the dictionary form or the nai form. For an e adjective, that's just the adjective or the adjective without the e plus kunai. For a noun or a na adjective, that's da or janai. So we add that to the to, and then we have our second sentence. This to we use in a circumstance where the second part is like the natural result of the first part. It is what is always going to happen. So it's something that always happens. It's not what somebody does. So the second part of the sentence should be not something that someone does or makes an active decision to do. It's an effect that we cannot control. It just always happens as a natural consequence of the first thing happening. So, if we look at our previous examples, so 本を読むと眠くなります. So whenever I read a book, I start to get sleepy. That's something that I cannot control. It just happens to me. Every time I try to read a book, I start to get sleepy. Or 飛行機に乗ると耳が痛くなります. So whenever I ride on a plane, my ears start to hurt. Once again, this isn't something that I'm controlling. It's not a decision that I'm making. It's just something that automatically happens every time. The same with 春になると花が咲きます. So whenever it becomes spring, the flowers bloom. That's not something that I am making the decision about. It's just something that always happens every spring. So we often see this with like a ku narimasu or ni narimasu. So like with something becomes something. So whenever sentence 1, then sentence 2. If sentence 1, then sentence 2. I say if here, but this to is one of the ones that we cannot use in a hypothetical situation. It has to be something that actually can and does happen and always has the same result. So for example, 秋になると木が赤くなります。秋になると木が赤くなります。So when it becomes fall, the trees turn red. ですね。That is something that always happens in the fall. It's not a result that we control. It's not an action someone does. It's just a natural consequence of the seasons changing. So let's look at a couple more examples. How can we say, so it becomes winter, whenever it becomes winter, then the snow falls. So 冬になると雪が降ります. How about whenever I drink alcohol, my head hurts. お酒を飲むと頭が痛くなります。頭が痛くなります。or バスに乗ると 気分が悪くなります。So whenever I ride a bus, I start to feel sick. So 冬になると whenever it becomes winter. Or お酒を飲むと whenever I drink alcohol. Or バスに乗ると whenever I ride on a bus. So we give like a situation and then we give the consequence that always follows. Okay, so let's practice using this と in the activities below.